It's live, Chandra. Yeah, thank you. Welcome, everyone. Again, before we begin, I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the universe, to all the enlightened masters who have guided humanity, to Brahmashri Pitama Patriji for bringing the wisdom of meditation into our lives, to the PSSM Australia team for the opportunity, and to the Anita Moorjani for courageously sharing her life journey through dying to be me. I thank each one of you for being here with an open heart. May this discussion inspire us to live with more love and less fear. I'm also grateful for the opportunity to offer this through Inner Awakening with Shivani in collaboration with PSSM Australia. So, as we are starting this book today, I request everyone to be on the camera because it's going to be interactive session. If we are not, if you are not engaged, then we will lose the purpose of this book. I had included some reflections in the book as we go so that we can reflect those events or those things side by side in our life and make this journey meaningful of these next 2 to 3 weeks. And we can search the areas in our life what we needed to change. Maybe I'm hoping that you get at least one area to work on your life that will help you to come out of your fear. So, as we are starting this book today, I want to ask, what is the one question about yourself or your life that you hope this reading may help you to explore? You can write on in the chat. Or you can also write, what do you hope to discover about yourself through this journey? Yeah. So I'm waiting for the questions. Answers, sorry, in the chat. What is one question about yourself or your life? How to be happy during difficult life situation? Yes, very good, Chandra. Anyone else? To get out of fear and to explore myself more about me through this book. Yes, definitely it will help. Anyone else? Any area that you would like to explore? What is the reason learning hidden in my yeah? Who I am and purpose of this life? Yes, yes. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. We will definitely, you will be able to get the answers. So, Chandra, so this is the first chapter. As the name suggests, the chapter is about Anita's childhood. Even though her childhood was very colorful and rich from the outside, however, she was quietly forming beliefs about acceptance, perfection, and pleasing others. Over time, these beliefs became invisible walls around her, so limiting her freedom to simply be herself. So let's see how this happens in this chapter. So Anita begins by telling, can I have the next slide, please, Chandra? Sorry. Yeah. So Anita begins by telling that although her family was Indian, she was never actually destined to grow up in India. Her parents were Sindhi, originally from Hyderabad in Sindh. Anita was born in a Singapore, and when she was only 2 years old, her family moved to Hong Kong because of her father's textile business. So, from the very beginning, Anita's life was a beautiful mixture of colors. She spoke Cantonese with the local people, studied in English at a British school, and spoke Sindhi at home while following Hindu traditions. In other words, Anita did not just grow up bilingual, she was almost culturally three in one. At school, she was surrounded mainly by British children. Outside, she experienced Chinese culture. At home, she lived according to traditional Indian values. The multicultural upbringing made her childhood colorful and interesting, but it also meant that she was constantly trying to understand different beliefs, expectations, and ways of living. So, before we move on further, can I ask, in your opinion, when we grow up surrounded by different cultures, beliefs, or expectations, does it broaden our identity or can it sometimes leave us confused about where we truly belong? What do you think? Can we use the chat, please?
Can you repeat the question, please?
So the question is, when we are surrounded by different cultures, different belief, because when you're coming from different culture, you create different belief system, different expectations, because every culture had different expectations. So does it broaden your identity or can it sometimes leave us confused about where we truly belong? Like in Anita's case, she is Hindu living in Singapore, sorry, Hong Kong, and then following going to British school. So three cultures. What do you think would have happened? Or in your case, yes, can lead us to being confused. Yes. Thank you, Nidhi. So Anita is she was confused, yes. And Anita is now telling about her family. Anita describes her father as a tall, handsome, strict, and someone who naturally commanded respect. She knew that he loved the family, but she was also afraid of him. As a child, she was very careful never to break his rules. Her mother, however, was gentle, warm, and approachable. Anita felt safe sharing her thoughts and feelings with her. Anup, her older brother, was 5 years older than her. Because of the age difference, they did not play or argue very much. So perhaps they discovered the secret of peaceful sibling relationship, maintaining a 5 year distance. Anita adored him. He was protective, supportive, and became a stronger male influence in her life than even her father. So at this point, Anita remembers a childhood incident that quietly planted the first seed of fear within her. Next slide, please. Sorry, Chandra. So we are going to talk about the seed of fear that she is describing in her story. She is telling that her family followed many traditional Indian customs. Her parents had an arranged marriage, and it was expected that suitable marriages would eventually be arranged for Anita and her brother as well. Within that traditional environment, boys and girls were not always treated equally. But I believe that's true now too, isn't it? I'm saying this as I felt the same in my childhood, unfortunately. So, as a young child, Anita did not initially question these beliefs. She simply accepted that this was how life worked. However, when she was only 6 years old, she overheard a conversation between her mother and another Indian lady. The conversation went like this, in Anita's words. Were you disappointed that your second child was a girl when she was born? This woman asked in our Indian dialect. I felt a sense of anxiety arise within me as I awaited the response. No, of course not. I love my daughter, my mother replied, much to my relief. But girls are a problem, especially when they grow up, the woman said. With girls, you have to make sure they don't get spoiled, otherwise, they won't get a good husband. And the amount of dowry that's required to get a daughter married only gets higher with each passing year. You can't predict the future. Every child, whether girl or boy, brings with them their own fate. I recall my mother replying wisely. Well, I'm happy that I have two sons, the woman said proudly. Even my young mind was able to detect the sense of achievement she felt as she made the statement. Later, when my mother and I were alone together, I asked, Mama, is it true that girls are a problem? No, of course not, beta, she responded. Beta is an affectionate term for my child or darling child in our dialect. My mother pulled me close and gave me a hug. And at that moment, I recall thinking, I never want to be a problem to my parents just because I'm a girl. I don't want them to ever wish I were born a boy. So, this may appear to be a small childhood incident, but it planted an important seed in Anita's mind. Anita began to feel that she had to behave perfectly, please others, and prove that she was not a burden. So, fear was quietly becoming part of her personality. Fear of being wrong, disappointing others, or not being enough. So, I'll ask you a question now. What are your thoughts? Can a single sentence heard during childhood quietly shape the way we see ourselves for many years? Have you recognized anything that you think being said in your childhood and you still, fear, you have a fear or you have a belief or you behave in certain manner just because of that single sentence or a comment? Is there anything? Can we use chat, please? I think it can. Yes. Thank you, Namita. But do you recall anything that has shaped you that was said in the childhood? You don't have to give the personal, thing. I'm just asking in general. Do you think that? Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Ali. Thank you. So, what I felt after reading this is sometimes children do not have the maturity to question what they hear. They simply absorb it. A child may hear, good children do not complain. You must always make the family proud. Do not trouble others. What will people say? So, over time, these messages can become inner rules that continue guiding us even in our adulthood. So, I'm bringing this up so that we all have children. So, we need to be very careful with our children, what we are talking to them. So, we just need to be conscious about it. So, her childhood experience is telling that we need to be very careful with our children so that their childhood doesn't make a certain belief system and shape their world. So now Anita comes to her story about her life in Hong Kong. Next slide, please. Or is it on the this slide? One second. Yeah. Sorry, I was not able to see clearly. So Anita's first home in Hong Kong was an apartment in Happy Valley overlooking the horse racing track. She would spend hours watching the jockeys train their horses while noisy trams passed beneath the apartment and interrupted her daydreams. She says every morning she woke up to the fragrance of sandalwood and rose incense. Her parents prayed, meditated, chanted mantras, and performed puja before deities such as Krishna, Lakshmi, Shiva, Hanuman, Ganesha. As a child, Anita watched them carefully and copied their rituals. Spiritually was therefore not something she discovered later in her life. It was present in her home from the beginning. So I personally feel there is an important distinction between being introduced or coming to spirituality and personally understanding it. So as children, we often copy rituals before we understand their meaning, isn't it? We whatever whatever our parents has told us, we just absorb, and we never question why that thing has, where that belief or even a spiritual understanding has came from. So, how much of our spiritual life comes from direct inner understanding, and how much has simply been inherited? This is the question that we need to ask us today. This is what Anita wants you to, think about. And I think largely we inherited. So I have a very small example here. I was talking to a friend few days ago, and we were having a general conversation. And she said, and I think most of the North Indians can relate to this. She said that my mom says never wash clothes on Thursday. And my mom used to say the same. Whose mom used to say the same now? I think in North Indians, they still say the same, don't wash clothes on Thursday. Now she said to me, Shivani, I do it because my mom has said it. I never asked the reason, and I'm sure probably if she would have asked, her mother wouldn't have known as well what's the reason, right? So this is just a simple example to think how much we have inherited, from our parents, and how much is our spiritual understanding that we need to question now and probably change. So coming back to the Anita story, the next she talks about is Ah Fong, her nanny, and the Hong Kong markets. Don't wear new shoes on Saturday. Yes, yes, that's another thing. And they say don't, broom in the night. So many things that we just inherently and we just follow with blind eyes. Coming to Anita again, Ah Fong and her nanny. So another important person in Anita's childhood was her Chinese nanny, Ah Fong. Ah Fong has looked after Anita since she was 2 years old, and Anita was deeply attached to her. During the week, Ah Fong collected her from school and often took her to the lively Hong Kong markets. For Anita, these trips were great adventures. The streets were crowded with stalls selling fruit, vegetables, flowers, toys, jewelry, clothes, and many more things. And almost anything anyone can imagine. So one day Anita was going to with the supermarket with her nanny, and there was a traffic jam. So Anita loved the colors, sounds, smells, energy of the market. So this what Anita is described. She is just giving the essence of the markets or the place she lived in. So that's why she has given all these details. She found these outings far more exciting than shopping in quiet department stores with her parents. So she's in a way also telling how much she loved spending time with her nanny. During one visit, she saw a man handling a live snake and asked what he was doing. Ah Fong, look at that. What's that man doing with that snake? I cried out excitedly in my fluent Cantonese. That's a snake vendor. He's going to tie up the snake, and that family is going to take it home to make snake soup. Ah Fong replied. I continued to watch the wide eyed wonder as the snake withered to fight for its freedom in the skillful hands of its handler, but to no avail. I felt compassion for the poor creature as it was expertly tied up with bamboo strips and caged in wire meshing. So, this tells us something about Anita's nature, that even as a child, she was curious, adventurous, sensitive, and deeply compassionate. So, this also tells to me is fear does not always enter through one big event. Sometimes it's planted quietly through words, behavior, and belief. So now we will discover another incident in young Anita's life, how her belief system shaped about status and respect. So, in Anita's word, Even after many years of living with us, Ah Fong still lowered her eyes and averted her gaze each time my mother or father entered the room. Being an inquisitive child, I flooded her with questions about everything, including her behavior. In my mind, I was always trying to reconcile the cultural differences between Ah Fong and my parents. So, how come you do that? My 6 year old self wanted to know. How come I do what? Ah Fong replied. How come you look down when my parents come near you? I asked in Cantonese. To show respect, she explained. How come? Your parents are my employers. I want to show I respect them, and I realize that they are my superiors. Are they your sorry, are they your superiors? I was amazed by the piece of information. Yes, because they give me work. Am I your superior? I asked. Ah Fong laughed, good, good neutrally, and she was used to my persistently inquiring mind. No, you don't give me work. I'm here to look after you. Oh, okay. I called back as I left to play with my own doll. So, what Anita is trying to tell here is children can sometimes solve social hierarchy much faster than adults. Do you think the same? We do not realize how much in are we obedient or are we respectful is just because of in Indian culture as well we do have maids, and some people today as well do not treat them as a fellow human beings. They treat them as a maids or a servants or a lower status to them. So our children does observe that. So as Anita's little mind was able to observe how the parents or the other community is behaving in front of her parents. So beneath the innocent exchange, Anita was already observing differences in social expectations, status, power, and culture. Next slide, please, Chandra. Yeah. So Anita had a childhood of many traditions as well. It was a true mixture of East and West. Since Hong Kong was a British colony, her family celebrated Christmas and Easter, Chinese festivals such as the Hungry Ghost Festival and the Mid Autumn Moon Festival, and as Indians, celebrated all festivals such as Diwali, Holi, Rakhi, everything. During the Hungry Ghost Festival, Ah Fong and her family burned paper houses, cars, and money as offering for their deceased ancestors. As part of Chinese culture, they even placed an extra setting at the dining table for departed family members. Young Anita was genuinely concerned about whether the ancestors were being given food. Isn't it in our tradition as well to give food to our ancestors? In Indian culture, do we do that? In North India, we do. I'm not sure about the South India or any other parts of the India. Do we do that? Yes, we do that. Yep, yep, we do. But what about not giving food to them when they are alive? You know, there is such a hype about giving the food in Shraads, before Navratris, we do have a Shraad month. We are our elders, and us blindly, we are so much into giving food to our ancestors, and we do not know, we then put it to the crow or to give it to some pandit in the hope that it is reaching to our ancestors. But we need to teach our children and ourselves that, and our fellow people, that it's not about, we need to give them food and happiness when they're alive, isn't it? Do you agree? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Chandra. Guys, I need you to please engage with me. Otherwise, these sessions, it will be difficult because then we are not understanding. I want you to understand the essence of every aspect of this book so that it helps, it in the end, it helps, you know. Thank you. So during the Mid-Autumn Festival, Anita chose colorful lanterns, usually her favorite rabbit-shaped lantern, and stayed outside late with the other children under the bright full moon. So during Diwali, her family dressed in new clothes and visited in Hindu temples like we do here in Australia. Anita especially loved shopping for a new outfit. So while spirituality was important, the promise of a new dress certainly added the festival experience for her. At the temple, she enjoyed the colors, music, devotional songs, bells, incense, dancing, vegetarian food. So, this tells that even after living in Hong Kong, the family was following all Indian traditions. Anita would eagerly make her way to the priest to receive the red vermilion mark on her forehead, symbolizing the opening of the third eye. Anita says because of her Hindu upbringing, she grew up in believing in karma, reincarnation, spiritual evolution, and eventually reaching nirvana. She learned that every action could create either positive or negative karma. We believe the same, isn't it? That everything that we do, good or bad, is gonna get us the karma. However, instead of giving her only peace, these beliefs also made her anxious. Even as a child, she constantly examined her behavior. Is this good karma? Is this bad karma? Could I be punished for this in another life? She began trying to perfect herself according to the standards created by her culture and beliefs. We do the same. I felt we do the same. Meditation and chanting taught her that human beings are more than their physical bodies. The spiritual understanding would later become very important in her life. But at the same time, fear was quietly becoming part of her personality. The fear of doing something wrong, disappointing her family, creating bad karma, or failing to meet the expectations placed upon her. So, I felt after reading this chapter that the deeper meaning of the chapter is not simply a description of Anita's colorful childhood. This chapter is there to help us understand that how her early environment shaped her. She grew up surrounded by rich culture, loving relationships, spirituality, festivals, and adventure, but also by strict expectations of her parents, the inequality, hierarchy, and the pressure to be good and acceptable. And on top of that, there were the mantras and the spiritualities and the karma things that come up her way has shaped her belief system. So these early experiences gradually taught her to look outside herself for approval and to fear the consequences of not being perfect. So, what Anita is saying, there is no need to be perfect. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to follow everything, not especially what someone has told you or simply just because you are following it from your childhood. And this is where we begin to see one of the central themes of this book, which says fear does not always enter our lives through one major event. Sometimes it is planted quietly through small experiences, beliefs, expectation, conversations, and words that we absorbed as a children. So now I would like you to reflect that when a spiritual teaching makes us constantly afraid of making mistakes, are we understanding the teaching correctly or are we interpreting it through fear? It needs not only courage but end up building resentment in others. That's right. That's right, Payal. So, what I'm trying to ask by this question is like, if there is a difference between thinking, I choose kindness because I feel connected to others, or I must be kind because this is right thing to do, and if I don't do, I will get a bad karma. So, what do you think is the right way to, lead your life? Just because kindness because you're connected, or kindness because that may incur a good or bad karma. What do you think? Chats, please, or you're more than welcome to talk. We are done with the chapter. The chapter is finished. Just kindness. Thank you, Namita. So, again, when I'm saying that the childhood, shapes your belief, I want to make sure that you understand we do not have to judge our parents, our families, cultures, or religions. Most people pass on what they themselves learned and believe to be right. And this is what you're passing to your children. So that doesn't make you bad parents. It's okay. It is just a point where we need to start asking ourselves, whatever we are doing, is it right thing to think or no? So, as an adult, we can lovingly examine what we have inherited and try to change where you think the change is necessary. Thank you so much. And we are open for questions. Yes, Nilimaji.
Yeah, you did it very nicely. Like it was coming so smoothly as if it is
Thank
coming
you.
through you only.
Thank you.
One thing, like in my childhood, I don't know from where did I get it कि जो भी कुछ कहना है ईश्वर से बात करनी है. तो
Hmm.
whatever I used to, there was a very, I don't know, I should call it a stupid thing or not. I went for my tournaments and I was having my periods date. So I said to my God, he just shift this date to that to few days. Like that time I didn't knew कि
Yes.
ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. But still I was so confident that
Yes.
I talked to God.
Yeah. नहीं ऐसा हो सकता है. You talk to God and you create your reality. You create your
Yeah.
life. So कुछ भी हो
Yeah.
सकता है. I believe in miracles. So
Yeah.
I think what I carried forward here is when I was young, there was a ad used to come, ladki bachao, ladki padhao. And I have a older brother. So
Um,
somehow I think I picked it from that, too much coming on the Doordarshan. And I felt I started, analyzing things, and I felt that I then created a belief that my mother loves my brother more than me. So this is how, I think the experiences are shaped, what you're hearing, what you're listening, what is coming across your way, how important or how frequent it is. I think everything's shape a belief or belief system.
yes.
Yes, yes. Thank you for sharing, Nilimaji. Thank you. Anyone else would like to ask any question or an experience or any thoughts, anything? Hello, Narayana ji.
Hello.
Were you here yesterday? I missed you.
Yeah, I was there, but I was driving actually.
Yeah, I didn't see you, so I
No,
missed.
no, I was driving, and me and my wife, both of us were listening to it.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
That's great.
I have seen her YouTube interview. So the life story is not much there actually, but
Yep. Yes.
yeah, just about the experience, what she went through in a short
Yes.
50 minutes video or something. The
Yeah.
book was a number one bookseller in
Yes.
US.
Yes.
And yeah, the thing that you told about um, like blind belief.
Yes.
Not all of them are true, but some of them are true actually.
Yes.
But yeah, and sometimes we don't know the reason that
Yes.
we think it's a really BS or whatever. It's not true or it's not supposed to
Yeah.
be followed.
Yeah.
For example, I'll tell you one thing. They, when there's a newborn,
Yeah.
they used to keep a metallic rod um,
Yes.
in front of the door.
Yeah.
So no one knew what is going to happen. So
Yeah.
what is the use of it? In
Yeah.
olden days, people used to come by bullock cart to
Yeah.
visit, to even a parent or a
Yeah.
visitor. When they come by bullock cart, the bullock cart the wheel goes in only one direction.
Yes.
Like the cars, they go on one direction, then the static electricity is produced
Yeah.
because there is metal around the wheel,
Wheel. Yes.
the bullock cart.
That's right.
So when it is turning in one direction, and the person who is sitting in there got a lot of static electricity. When
Yes.
they come inside the house, they touch the baby or maybe
Yeah.
touch the mother, they to get a shock.
Yeah.
So they wanted to neutralize it. They put a rod there or maybe a
Yeah.
metal thing in front of the door.
Yeah.
Now there is no necessity because there is the life has changed.
Yeah.
Like that, you can ignore a couple of them, but a few of them,
That's
and
what I said. That.
it doesn't mean that they are law meaningless.
Yeah.
But there
Yeah.
are meaningful ones, but they are,
There are
yeah, yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
So,
But we don't
that's
understand. We say, okay, sometimes we say it's not true. We
yeah.
no need not to follow.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one is given the right reason.
That's right. What I'm trying to say is we don't, yes, what are there for a meaning, there are, but then whatever we are following
Hmm.
without, knowing. Like for example, I remember they used to say, don't broom at night because Lakshmi will go out. And they used to say that I felt is because in old days there were no
Yeah,
light. And if
yeah,
something has dropped, it will come out. But
yeah,
now
yeah.
we have night. So if we have to blindly keep following it,
Hmm.
so it doesn't make sense. So yes, definitely there are things which are still valid, they're
Valid.
still
Yeah,
true. And if
yeah,
it resonates with your heart, please go by it.
yeah, yeah.
Then this was just small silly examples I'm giving, but there are other beliefs we
Yes,
need
yes.
to go inside and
Yeah.
what we can, what we need to change
Hmm.
as per the current environment. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
And thank you for saying that the audio, I have also heard her audio, her experience, the 50 minutes one. And it was long time ago and someone suggested me to read this book. And I said, no, 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 I've heard her story. I know what it is. And then eventually, because of whatever, I started reading this book and I felt it is much more than audio. Like it is
Hmm.
so beautiful. Audio is nothing in front of the book. So as we explore, what had happened, the amazing
Hmm.
thing is her actually the way she has explained the near death experience. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a video, like a interview. It was a video interview actually.
Yes.
Yeah, and I
There are so
was,
many videos. There are so
yeah,
many videos on her experience.
yeah. It's all the Chinese, Malaysians. They have the name in front of it,
Yes.
but you don't need to pronounce the
Oh, okay. How do?
Actually, it is only Pong.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yeah, they say Apong, but they have some respect or something
Yes.
else. I don't know why they add that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it's only, yeah, because I was in Singapore for
Oh, okay.
3 years.
Yes.
I came to know about this.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Good
They do have a 1 month like what we have. The Pitr Paksha, whatever
Yes.
you,
The ancestors
they
one.
do have 1 month
Yeah.
in Singapore. They offer they call it Ghost Festival.
Mm.
They offer fruits and
Yes.
everything. The spirits, and they
Yeah.
believe the belief is too much there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
more than
Us.
sometimes it looks more than India.
Yes. Yes, and that's right. There is no it's a very good thing that we do that for our ancestors. But what I said was, like, we need to, make them happy and content while they are with us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, after listening to your interpretation, I see she, because she has grown up in such a background. That's why her humble approach, or maybe the way she expressed, it's
Yes.
all related. Like, that
Yes.
there is some kind of spirituality, but I didn't know that she has done meditation and everything.
Yes.
But yeah, only was it? Is it written in the book?
It's written in the book. Whatever I have said is written in the book.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
the second time I'm reading the book.
Mm,
And also, she has mentioned later that we will, I don't want to kill the suspense when will know that she had done few things
yeah.
to try to heal her cancer before her ND, of course, like everyone does. And
Mm.
yeah, it's
Nice, nice, nice. Sorry, I'm taking too much time.
no, 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 that's absolutely fine. Thank you so much. Thank you
No
for
problem.
coming.
That's fine.
All right. Anyone else would like to share a word or about the book or your thoughts? No one? All right. Then I just want to say the next chapter tomorrow, chapter 2, Anita's world expands into different religions and different ideas about God. So, but instead of giving that in with many religions, instead of giving her clarity, these paths begin to raise a difficult question: which one is truly right? So we will explore this for with Anita tomorrow. All right. So we can play the music, Chandra. Thank you.
Oh, one thing I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Were all these circumstances and everything was planned for an experience for her, or no? This was her experience.
This is what is happening. She said that whatever is, this all lead to a negative, so much fear in her, that that energy was so bad inside her, because she was always trying to please others, always trying to make others happy. She never was in self love. So the mind was so confused. Every time she has to take a decision or a step, she has to think about, she was thinking about others, and her mind was confused, and she was always in fear that I will make Nilima unhappy. I will make Shivani unhappy. I should please Shivani in this way. I do not want to break my father's rule. I do not, I am a girl. Is it okay? Is it, not okay? And she talked about the karma as well, that she was always conscious about good karma or bad karma. So that's why I said that we need to think whatever we are doing is because of the karma fear, or we actually want to do it. So we want to be kind because it resonates with us. It is good to be kind. Not that if we are not kind, it will bring the bad karma. So this is what, we are trying to understand. So I tried my best to, bring the deeper meanings of what she's saying, so that, we try to heal those parts among our, ourselves, and look a bigger picture, and yeah, be heal ourselves. That's all I wanted to say. I'm just
Thank you so much. Today's day is a blessing day for me. From since morning, I'm getting so much tips. Like what you said, like you don't. I don't think you know what you are saying to me. Like you have opened something inside me.
that's
Like
great.
it's what you said is very so deep within.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
I so
Nil.
much gratitude.
Thank you.
Much. Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right. We are ready for meditation, Chandra. Gently close your eyes. Cross your legs. Cross your fingers. And take a deep breath. Quickly scan your body from head to toe and make a conscious effort to relax it.